Hello everyone. So myself architect Ritu Bharti and I am before you to solve some questions of JEE Mains paper 2 from Aptitude section. So let's start. So starting with the question number 1. In this question, the question is saying that which of the following is the correct chronological sequence? The options given are first one we have Qutub Minar, Taj Mahal, Fatehpur Sikri, and the second one we have Qutub Minar, Fatehpur Sikri and then Taj Mahal. In the option number third we have Fatehpur Sikri, Taj Mahal, Qutub Minar. In the option number D we have Taj Mahal, Fatehpur Sikri and Qutub Minar. So on the basis of some reasons you have to find some chronology. Like the solution of this question is option number A, that is first one is our Qutub Minar, then Taj Mahal and then Fatehpur Sikri. It is based on the date it was built. So the Qutub Minar, it was built, the construction began in 1193 by Qutbuddin Aibak. And also talking about some architectural features of the Qutub Minar. So it is fluted minaret, which is your tall tower, and it is made up of red sandstone and tallest brick minaret. This is the most important point. Second, we have the Taj Mahal. Its construction started in 1632. So the first one is our Qutub Minar, then Taj Mahal as per the date. And also it is built as a mausoleum for his beloved wife. It was built by Shah Jahan for his wife Mumtaz Mahal, and it is made up of the white marble exterior and intricate details can be seen on the Taj Mahal facade. The third one is your Fatehpur Sikri. It was built by the Emperor Akbar in the year 1571. At that time, it used to be served as the capital of the Mughal Emperor. Okay. The next point is it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site known for its blend of architectural styles including Hindu and Islamic influences. So in Fatehpur Sikri you will get to see this architectural style of Hindu and Islamic. So as per the year of the construction, so first we have Qutub Minar, then Taj Mahal and then Fatehpur Sikri. So the correct answer is option number A. Moving to the next question. This question is asking about which architect practiced the prairie style of architecture. So this architectural style, which is known as the prairie style, it was practiced by F.L. Wright, which is a Frank Lloyd Wright. So Frank Lloyd Wright is considered the pioneer of prairie style architecture, okay, as we seen. So what exists in this style? So the characteristics of this style is it has many horizontal lines, open floors as you can see, and connection to the natural landscape, the green area and the built up area. These features are all evident in Wright works, such as some examples of prairie style of architecture you can see in Roby House and Winslow House. So the prairie style is of F.L. Wright. Next we have the image in the temple of Angkor Wat are those of. So Angkor Wat is your temple which is in Cambodia. So the question is asking about the images in the temple. So temple is having some images in its interior or exterior you can say. So it consists of what? So it has an images of Hindu deities. This is your Angkor Wat, and it was built in the 12th century, which was a Hindu civilization. So the temple complex is adorned with reliefs and sculptures as you can see in the image, and it depicts mostly about Hindu deities, scenes and Hindu epics. It has many scenes from the Ramayana or Mahabharata you can say. Also it is presenting some celestial beings like Apsara and all those. So overall it is all describing about the Hindu mythology. So this temple is completely dedicated to the Hindus, and it has all the features of the Hindu mythology and stories. Next question we have, the Qibla wall in the mosque indicates the direction of prayer towards. So it indicates the direction of prayer towards the Makkah. See, this is your Qibla wall. So this wall used to exist in every mosque, okay, and it is in west direction. But why it is in west? talking in the context of the India, Makkah is in west direction, so that's why this wall used to exist in west in every mosque. And Makkah is your cubical building that is considered to be as the holiest site in Islam. An important thing is Muslim pray facing the Qibla wall. So they all face towards the west direction in which Qibla used to be in any mosque. Next we have, he was a famous modernist Spanish architect famous for the design of the Bartolo House and Sagrada Familia building. So two design uh, buildings had been given to you, and the clue given to you is like he is a Spanish architect. And first one of his work is Bartolo House, second one is Sagrada Familia building. And you have to find out the name of the architect who has been involved in these two buildings. So the correct answer is your Antino Gaudí. See, this is the image of your Antino Gaudí. He is a modernist Spanish architect and he is well known for designing the Sagrada Familia and Casa Batlle, both located in Barcelona, Spain. So these two buildings are located in your Barcelona, Spain, and it is built by a Spanish architect whose name is Antino Gaudí. Next question we have, this famous Finnish American architect. Again, an example is given in about some brief is given about the architect, and you have to find out the name of the architect. So the first point is he's a Finnish American architect and his work. He designed the Gateway Arc in St. Louis. Second point is he has designed the Gateway Arc in St. Louis. He also designed the TWA Flight Center at JFK Airport in New York and the corporate offices of IBM and CBS. So these informations are given to you about an architect. Now you have to find out that these works are matchable with whom. So options given are Frank Gehry, Eero Saarinen, third you have George Utzon, then we have I.M. Pai. So correct answer is your Eero Saarinen. This you can see his famous work, the Gateway Arc. This is in St. Louis. This is actually a model. So he was a Finnish American architect who designed Gateway Arc in St. Louis, Missouri. Talking about his famous work, which is your Gateway Arc. It is in catenary arc, as you can see. This is a catenary arc and its height is 192 meter. Also, he has designed TWA Flight Center at JFK Airport in New York and some corporate offices as given earlier, IBM and CBS. Please, the name of the architect, his work, and the famous work like Gateway Arc in St. Louis, Missouri. These all things are important for exam perspective. Next we have, the colonial word bungalow is originated from. So the word bungalow, it is basically originated from the Bengal hut, as you can see in this image. So what are bungalows? Talking about its architectural features, so they are single story. They are not double story. They are your single story thatched roof dwelling. When you talk about the roofing, so it is thatched roof dwelling built by Bengali people in rural areas. This colonial bungalows often incorporated features like verandas, as you can see in the image, it has veranda, raised plinth to suit the Indian climate. So these are some basic features of bungalow. Also here it is mentioned often single story, okay, used as a vacation house, open to outdoors and has large verandas. So these are some architectural features of bungalow, and the name bungalow has been originated from the Bengal hut. In this question, this is the match the following type of question, and in the group 1 you have given the name of the architect or the famous person who is involved with these buildings. In the group 2 you have given the name of some buildings. So first one is Christopher Warren. So the Sir Christopher Warren, he is famous with your St. Paul Cathedral, London. See, this is your St. Paul Cathedral, London by Sir Christopher Warren. So he is credited with designing St. Paul's Cathedral, which is in your London. Second you have is Furious. So Phidias, he was a famous sculptor. Okay, so the for Q1, Q we have 4. He is involved in the Acropolis in Athens, in the construction of Acropolis in Athens. So Phidias was a sculptor. R we have Isidore of Miletus and Anthemius of Tralles. So for the option number for the R, we have correct answer is your Hagia Sophia at Istanbul. So Isidore of Miletus and Anthemius of Tralles, architects who designed Hagia Sophia in Istanbul. So these were your two architects who were involved in designing the Hagia Sophia, which is in your Istanbul. So for the R we will have option number 2. Next we have Bernini. So he was involved with St. Peter's Square in Rome as well as many fountains in the city. So this is your St. Peter's Square. So who was as Bernini? He was an Italian sculptor and architect, and he is well known and famous for designing your St. Peter's Square. This is your St. Peter's Square. So the option number A will be our correct answer. Moving to the next question. Here we have square plan of Garbhagriha. So in Garbhagriha, which is the most interior part of our Hindu temple, so its square plan of Garbhagriha in Hindu temple is very much linked with, so it is linked with the orientation. So how it is linked with orientation? See, this is your Vastu Purusha Mandala. Okay, so what is this? It is basically a cosmic diagram which is used to determine the placement of various elements in a temple complex. So as per these directions, we can place like here you can see this is your north, south, east and west. So it is mentioned over here that in northwest here you can place some water storage or tube well, or you can go for sleeping areas in the west. So as per these diagram or this mandala, this is also used to plan your dwelling units, like your houses. But in temple architecture also, we have significant position of significant places with respect to the direction in which it is suitable, and that reference is taken from this Vastu Purusha Mandala, in which the placement of various elements in a temple complex are decided. And the Garbhagriha is typically positioned at the center or at the intersection of the main axis, reflecting its significances. So basically it is positioned at the center or at the intersection of the main axis. We used to play our Garbhagriha inside the temple. Next question we have Al Alhambra, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, exemplifies architectural style of. So this is your Alhambra, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So question is asking about that which architectural style it represents. So it represents your Moorish architectural style. Now you will see what is Moorish. So first of all about Alhambra, is a palace, fine, and fortress, and it is located in your Granada, which is in your Spain. Second point is it is most famous monument of Islamic architecture and was built by the Moorish rulers of Granada. Fine. Now talking about the features of the Moorish style of architecture. So it used to indicate arches, horseshoes, arches, and integrate tile works and decorative plaster works. As you can see, you will get to see arches over here, horseshoe shaped arches, tile works and decorative plasters works. Also you can see intricate design works or jali works. So these are the features of your Moorish style of architecture which can be seen in Alhambra, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Next question is Hemat Panthi, style of temple. So Hemat Panthi is a style of temple. But questions are asking about that it belongs to Himalaya, Deccan or Orissa or Kerala. So it belongs to Deccan. So this is one of your example of Hemat Panthi style of temple which originated in the Deccan region of India. Okay, so these temples are known for the use of their black stone. First feature is they use black stone while construction of the temple. or intricate carvings. As you can see, this carving works, fine detailing works in the temple, and star shaped plan, the plan of the building. It is basically of star shape. So these are some features of the Hemanpanti temple style, which is which belongs to your Deccan. Next question is, Piazza del Campo is an example of. So Piazza del Campo is an example of your medieval period. So this is your Piazza del Campo. Important point is where it is located in Sini, Italy. Fine. And is a famous square known for its shell shape. So this square is known for its shell shape, and it being a site of the horse race. Basically at that time it was being used for your horse race. For instance, the Palazzo Pubblico, the town hall located on the square, features Gothic. So this area, this Piazza del Campo, this area resembles architectural style, features of Gothic and Renaissance style. Okay. Next question we have, the Campidogia was planned by. So this area was planned by your Michelangelo. Who he was? He was an Italian sculptor, painter, architect, and poet. Fine. And the Piazza del Campidoglio on top of Capitoline Hill. Fine. It is placed, or it is located at the top of the Capitoline Hill, and it was built in 16th century. But the important point is only your Campidoglio, and it was planned by Michelangelo. Next point you have, next question we have is, the perspective view concept was developed in Europe during which time period? So it was developed during the year Renaissance time period. So what it was? Perspective view. So linear perspective, a method of drawing that create the illusion of three-dimensional space. So as you can see, this is your a drawing sheet suppose, but here you are getting a feel of three-dimensional space on a two-dimensional surface. This is your two-dimensional surface, and here you are getting a feel from this drawing of a three-dimensional surface. So this is your perspective view, and it was developed during the Renaissance, that artists began to develop and codify the system which relied on mathematical principle and a deep understanding of geometry. So this design was based on some mathematical principle and calculations of that time, and the use of the basic geometry they used to create 3D view on a 2D surface, and that is known as your perspective view concept. Next question is, flying buttress is an architectural element of. So flying buttress is an architectural element of Gothic architecture style. See, this is your flying buttress. Okay, so flying buttress are an architectural element that is most characteristics of Gothic architecture. Okay, they are arched structure, as you can see, that transfer the weight of the roof and upper walls of the building, these upper walls of the building, to piers or buttress. Some piers or buttress may be located over here, located further away. So they transfer these loads from the flying buttress to the pier onto the ground. So this was the main work of the flying buttress, which is used very widely in your Gothic architecture style. Next question is, the Grand Gallery in Egyptian architecture is provided at. So the Grand Gallery, it is some you can say about some part inside the structure in Egyptian architecture. It is provided in the Great Pyramid. As you can see in this image, this is your Great Pyramid, and here we have Grand Gallery. Okay, this part is your Grand Gallery. At the top we have King Chamber, in the bottom we have Queen Chamber. So what it is? So Grand Gallery is a long ascending corridor. Okay, it is an ascending corridor where it is found inside the Great Pyramid of Giza, which was built as a tomb for the pharaohs Confucius during the 4th dynasty of the Old Kingdom. So it was built for the pharaohs, or you can say the king of the Egyptian Egyptian civilization, and it is believed to played a role in the funerary rituals. So at the time of their funerary rituals, the Grand Gallery in Egyptian architecture used to play very important role, just because of some Egyptian rituals they used to process in these areas. So this is the only use of the Grand Gallery. So coming to the next question. Next question is your match the following type of question. So first is your Pantheon Rome. Second we have St. Paul Cathedral London. Then we have St. Peter Basilica Rome. Then Notre Dame Paris. So first one is your Pantheon Rome. So it is of your Roman Pantheon. It is in Rome. What it is? It is a famous temple in Rome. Okay, that was built during the Roman Empire. That's it. And what it is having large dome and its use of concrete. They have used concrete in making some large domes. Also, Roman architecture is characterized by use of arches. They have used some arches, concrete, and the overall design, or you can say about the construction of the Parthenon, they emphasized more on the symmetry and the proportion of the building. Fine. Next we have St. Paul Cathedral of London. It is of Baroque. So what it is, St. Paul Cathedral? Obviously it is a church which is in your London, England, and it is designed by Christopher Warren, as we have seen in previous question also. Important is Baroque style. And for what it is known for? Baroque style for dramatic lighting effect, elaborate curves and grand decorations. These are some design features of Baroque style. Please remember it. Which is found in St. Paul Cathedral, which is designed by Christopher Warren. Third one we have is St. Peter Basilica, Rome. Its correct answer is Renaissance. So now see St. Peter Basilica, Rome. What it is also your church, but it is in your Vatican City, and it is designed in Renaissance style. Renaissance architecture is a revival of classical Greek and Roman architecture. So these Renaissance architecture, it is a revival of classical Greek and your Roman architecture type. And some features of it is symmetry, proportion, and use of some elements like column, pilasters, and entablature. They used to have some columns, pilasters, and entablature as in design principles in Renaissance style. Point number 4 is your Notre Dame, Paris. So Notre Dame, Paris, it is built in your Gothic style of architecture. It is a Paris in, it is in your church, which is in Paris, France, and it is an example of Gothic architecture, and it is known for its pointed arches, ribbed vaults, and stained glass window. In your also you can say your rose window. So these are some features found in Notre Dame Cathedral, which is in Paris, and it is built under Gothic style of architecture. Moving to the next question. The new Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao, Spain was designed by, so please remember the name of the building, the place from where it is associated with, and then the name of the architect. So Guggenheim Museum, Bilbao, Spain, Frank Gehry. Fine, this is your image. So it is designed by renowned architect Frank Gehry, who is known for deconstructivist. Like if you will notice on this building, it is not giving you proper regular shape and size. So you can say a form of deconstructivist architectural style, which is characterized by the use of unconventional shapes. As you can see, there is no proper or regular shapes. All the shapes are unconventional shapes and material to create a sense of dynamism and disorientation, like things won't feel like oriented, balance, symmetry in his designs. Frank Gehry, he used to build buildings in reconstructivist architectural style. Next question you have is, which one of the right hand side answer figures shows the correct view of the left hand side problem figure after its surfaces are opened up? Okay, a problem figure is given to you in 3D form and the answers are given to you in 2D form, and you have to find out that which uh, surface, 2D surface, which will match up with this 3D surface. As you can see that this is a dice and it has 6 faces. So first of all we will look for in which answer figure we have 6 faces. This one has 5, this one has 4, this one also has 5, and this one has 6. So the correct answer is your option number C, 6. Next question is also your match the following type of question, in which you have to match the color scheme in group 1 with their position in color wheel in group 2. So the color schemes are given to you is complementary, analogous, monochromatic and secondary. Fine. And in the group 2 you have given its position, like position. Okay, so complementary colors are which colors? So the color which lies opposite to each other. As you can see in this color wheel, this is your complementary color. So complementary will go for opposite to each other, P4. Next you have your analogous colors. So analogous colors are known as your neighbor colors. See, as you can see over here. For yellow, this green and oranges are their neighbor colors. So these are the analogous colors. So colors which are adjacent to each other are your analogous. Fourth we have monochromatic. So for monochromatic, your correct answer is your radial segment. Suppose here we have red. Suppose we have over here tint of red. Then we have shade, and again we will have shade of color. So it will form a monochromatic color. So monochromatic color wheel seems to be like this fan shape, in which you will get to see the tint and then shade of the same color in radial segment. So that's why we used to say that monochromatic colors are a radial segment. As you have your secondary color. So secondary colors are forming an equilateral triangle, because as your primary colors are also forming an equilateral triangle as they are positioned, in the same way your secondary color is also forming. See, this is your primary color, your red, and in the same way you have in reverse you have your secondary color. So in this manner we used to say the primary and the secondary color, like your red and yellow are your primary color. So by combining red and yellow you will get orange as your secondary color. So all these colors are positioned at an equal position from each other, that's why they are forming an equilateral triangle. Next question is, purity of color is defined by. So color has various characteristics, one of which is the purity. So purity is defined by the value of the color. So what is the value? The value refers to the lightness or darkness of a color. Fine. In the context of purity, a color with high value would be a bright. So the color which will be having a high value, suppose having value of 100, or there is any another color which is having a value of 200. So the color having higher value like 200, it will be more brighter than the color will be having a value of 100. So more value means more brighter. while a color with low value would be a dark color. Suppose here blue color will be having low value than yellow color, because yellow is more brighter in comparison with the blue color. Okay, now see, value refers to the lightness or darkness of a color. Color mixed with white are called tint. This is also an important point. When we mix any color with the white color, then it will form the tint of that color. Pink is a tint of red. Suppose if you will mix white color in the red, you will get pink color. So pink is the tint of the color red. In the same side, color mixed with black are called shades. When you will mix any color with the black color, then it will give the shade of that color. And for that example, burgundy is the shade of red. When you will mix red with the black color, you will get the burgundy color. Next question is, a combination of colors forming an equilateral triangle in a color wheel is called. Okay, when any color will form an equilateral triangle, then that combination will be called as triad scheme. This is your triad scheme. Okay, so this first example is your yellow, blue and red. Fine. Next one you can see green, orange and your violet. This is also your triad color, because these three colors are also forming your equilateral triangle, and also these three colors are your secondary colors. Next one we have is blue green, yellow orange and violet red. This one. So these three colors are also your triad scheme, because they are also forming an equilateral triangle and placed at an equal position. Moving to the next question. In a color wheel, red and blue colors are. So we have seen earlier, red and blue colors are your primary color. See, primary color red, yellow and blue. Fine, primary color. And secondary color is your here orange, magenta or green. In this way you will get your secondary color. So red and blue are our primary colors. Next question is, complementary color in a Munsell pigment color refers to the, we have seen earlier, they refers to the color opposite to one another. Now look at this image. Complementary colors are directly across from each other on the color wheel. They're across each other on the color wheel. Fine. Examples are given to you: blue and orange, blue violet and yellow orange, as you can see in the image. See, blue orange, blue violet, yellow orange, violet yellow, red violet and yellow green, red and green, red orange and blue green. So these are your complementary colors as they are placed opposite to each other, or you can say uh, color which color color which are directly across from each other. Next question. Here you have to identify the following object surfaces and materials. An image will be given to you, and then by looking at its surface you have to identify that which object it is. First look for the shape and then go for the texture. As you can see, this gives an irregular shape. It can't be a column and it can't be your steel. So we are left with carrot and woodlock. But look at this horizontal surface. So it is not giving any clue for the carrot, and also you can see the rings on this surface. So these rings are found in your woodlock. So the correct answer is your woodlock. Option number 2. Chhajja, dome, beam and arc. So chhajja is your projected part. So this is not your projected, no projection is seen over here. So this is not your chhajja. Next one is your dome. Dome used to be like this, a circular shape. But this is not any covered surface, or you can say. So this is not your dome. Now we are left with beam. So beam are your these. This should be beam, but If they are not highlighting at this surface, they are showing this semicircle. So this is your arch, this is your keystone. So as you can see in the image, they have highlighted these stones and not at all at the background or somewhere else. So you have to focus on the point where they are highlighting more, and then you have to find out on the basis of the surface that which object it is. So this one is your arc. Next option is, this is your room. Fine, these are your ceilings, this is your floor part. Options given to is wall, flooring, ceiling and tiling. As you can see, they are emphasizing more at the top part. That's why we will go for the ceiling. They are not showing something over here or blank over here, but they are showing at the top. If they would be showing something over here like brick walls or something, then it may be wall, but they are not emphasizing on wall, neither they are emphasizing on floors, and not they are showing any tiling work. They are just showing on the top these ceiling lights and the chandeliers. So that's why the correct answer will be your ceiling. Next one, you have a stand, sofa, bed and divan. See, this is the half image of a sofa. This is your sitting part, this is your side support, and this is your back support. So sometimes they used to give half image of the objects. So this is your sofa. Next one we have brick, earth, platform and flooring pattern. This can't be your brick. Brick will be having a regular shape. Talking about the earth, it may be shown like this. Then we will go for earth, but they are showing a flooring pattern. Also, not any platform can be observed by looking into this image. So your correct answer will be flooring pattern. Next question is door, window, ventilator or any grill. Door should be like this. When they are talking about window, then it should be somewhat like this, glass hatching. Then you will say that this was any door or window. Also they are saying ventilator. No. If there would be ventilator, then it would, the sketch would somewhat like this. But it's not any ventilator, nor door, nor any window. It can be a grill. You can make modifications with the grill of any shape and size you want. So this is your grill work. Next one, they have shown the staircase, the front, from the front view but in 3D section. Like this is your first step, second step, third step and fourth step. Actually it is getting decreasing at a point. They are made it somewhat like this. So this is your staircase. This is not a ramp, because in ramp you won't get to see any riser, but here we have risers and tread. So this is your staircase, not any roof, not any path. Fine. Next question is roof, stand, table and water tank. So this is your concrete water tank. As you can see, this is the main water tank. These are the columns which are supporting the water tank, and this is your opening hole, and these are the pipes which comes out from your water tank. So this is your water tank. This is not any table or any stand or any roof, but this is a water tank. Next one, we have well, clamp, cornice and steps. See, this topmost covering part which is used at two, in between any two intersecting surfaces, like in your wall or your roof. Suppose this is your wall, this is your roof. Here you will get to see your cornice. It used to cover the edge part. So this is your cornice. 10th, options given to you is slab, capital, beam and foundation. So this is your foundation. Now look into the basic difference between like what is footing and foundation. So footing is actually what is in contact with the ground, while the foundation is the structure that transfer the load to the earth. The foundation, and this is your footing, because footing is the bottommost part which is in contact with the ground. So this is your footing, and the structure that transfers the load. Suppose there will be any slab after construction, so the slab will transfer the load through the foundation to the footing. So this in between element in between the roof and the footing is your foundation, which acts as a load transfer structure. Next question is the term bay means. So what does the term bay means? It is the distance between two adjacent trusses. Like look into this image. A bay is the space between architectural element or a recess or compartment. So this is your bay. Like they are talking about this one. It can be a bay. This one will be a bay. Here to here also is your bay. So it is the distance between two adjacent trusses or any two adjacent arches or any structure. So basically it is this distance. So this is known as your bay. Next point is the dead loads considered for designing of roofs are. So the dead load, what is dead loads which are considered while designing any roof? We consider many loads like dead load and live load. So the wind load, snow loads, rainfall load, or the weight of the roofing material. Both these option A and B will come under your dead load. Now look into this image. Here it is mentioned that dead load is your roof, snow load, wind load. Okay. The wall, the floors, these all come under your dead load. While what is the live load? Live load is like your people, furnitures, or your stored water into the building. These all acts as your live load. So dead load refers to the permanent and constant weight that acts on a structure. These are the permanent and constant weight which are acting on the structure. Like you can't move your wall from one place to another. It will be remain at its position only. But in case of the furniture or the people, it can vary. So these are your live loads. But dead loads are your permanent and constant load. The weight of the roof structure itself, this includes roofing materials. Weight of the roof structure will come under your dead load, in which the weight of the tiles, metal sheet, or the supporting beams, trusses and purlins, these all will come under your dead loads. Any permanent fixtures or features on the roof, this could include skylights, HVAC equipment, parapet, solar panels, or antenna. These all are your examples of your dead load. Okay. Now moving to the next question. What does the image below best represent? Here two images are given to you. So what does it represent? It represents a baluster and a balustrade. So what is the difference between two? Here you can see a baluster is a single one, while you will have a combination of more than one balusters, then it will become balusters. Fine, plural form. But when you will fix them with the top rail, bottom rail and a post, then it will completely become a balustrade. So this combination is known as your balustrade. And when you will talk it in the context of your staircase in this manner, top railing, post and your staircase, so this combination at total will become your banister. So this is the image. It represents a balusters and a balustrade. So as we discussed earlier, it is a strong single short vertical post. Single, when it will be single, only one, then it will be known as your baluster. And it may be made up of wood, stone, metal or even plastic. It can be made up of any material. Okay, it can be in decorative form or straight, turned or fluted, like it is in some carved out form over here. And when we talk about balustrade, it is a railing system. This is your whole complete railing system in which you can see a series of balusters. See these balusters. Here we have more than one balusters within the series. Here also you will have in continuity form. So these all together forms your balusters. As I said earlier, that it will be having your top rail, which is known as your handrail, and the bottom rail over here for the stability of the balusters over it. Next question is, this is also match the following type of question, in which in the group 2 you have given some images and in the group 1 you have given some name, and these are all are your architectural elements of the building. So the first one is your corbel. So this is your corbel. So what is your corbel? It is a bracket shaped piece of stone, wood, bracket shaped. It may be a piece of a wood or stone or metal that project from a wall to support a weight over it. Suppose this is your wall and it is projected from it, but it is giving support to the above roof. So this is the function of the corbel. They are used in architecture to support beams, arches or shelves. You can place corbels below any beam, arch or shelves also. In the queue we have pendentives. So this is your pendentives. So what is the use of the pendentives? It is a triangular segment, as you can see in this image. This is your triangular segment of a sphere. This is your sphere. Okay. So it is used in architecture to create a smooth transition between a circular dome and a square or polygonal base. Okay, now suppose this is your dome, this topmost dome, and this pendentive is acting as a smooth transition. This is in between this dome and your square polygonal face. This polygonal face, this is square face on which you have your bottom one dome part. So it is acting as a transition element between the dome and this square or polygonal base. Next option we have Lambert-Queen. So Lambert-Queen, this one is a Lambert-Queen. So what it is? It is a Baroque ornament used in France. Lace work or tracery. This part. This is your Lambert-Queen. So it is used by fencing potters, particularly in Rouen. So what it is basically your decorative element which you used to place at the edges of the roofs or in front of your doors or windows. So this is your Lambert-Queen. As we have fringes, option number 2. So what is fringe? You can see in this image, this topmost part. This is your fringe. So it isn't. So this architectural style can be seen in Greek architecture or decorative area above the column and below the roof line. So this decorative area is above the column. This is your column and is above it, or this is your roof at the top. So above the column, they used to have fringe, and below the roof we have our fringe area. And it is part of the entablature, a large section comprised of a series of horizontal blinds. So this complete part is your entablature, and it is one of the part of it, fringes, where you will get to see this vertical lines or any sculptures carved into it, triglyphs, something, or any decorative part. We used to have all these things at the fringe part. Moving to the next question. A balconette or balconette can be described as, so it is described as a false balcony. As you can see in this image, it is an architectural term to describe a false balcony. Because so the term false balcony is coming over here because as you can see there is balcony. What balcony is basically projected from your roof, but here you can see there is no projection, just you have a railing and an opening over here and no projection. That why it is called as an your false balcony. or railing at the outer plane of a window opening reaching to the floor, or it can be also called as an opening at the outer wall, and having, when the window is open, the appearance of a balcony. So when you will open out this window, so from the exterior part it seems to be like this is a balcony. So for this false balcony we use the term balconette, not balcony. Moving to the next question. A barge board can be described as, so this is your barge board. It is described as a board attached to the gable. This part complete is your gable. So it is attached at the gables projecting from a roof. As you can see, this structure is projecting from your roof and it is fixed at the top. So what it is, they are oftenly ornately carved or pieced. You can see this ornamental style, and they are fixed to the projecting edge of the gable roof. They are fixed on this gable roof, and this architecture style is commonly found in your Gothic revival architecture. So barge board is your this lattice part. It is attached at the gable of the roof. Next term is your, what is a boss? So the boss is your this part, this top one, these notches. Actually, it in the medieval architecture, keystone used in vaulting. So in arc we have keystone at the top, but in vaulting we have keystone at these positions to provide a junction for intersecting reefs, because these reefs are coming one from this direction, one from this direction. So at the junction point of these reefs we used to have this center one, which is known as your boss, and to cover the actual complex of the mitred joints. So to cover up these joints of the vaults we used to have in center the boss. Moving to the next question. An arris as an architectural terminology is the best explained as. Fine. When we talk about in architectural terminology, so the arris is representing which part? The sharp terminating edge when two curved surfaces meet. So this is your one curved surface. This is, suppose this is your another curved surface, 1 and 2. So these two surfaces are meeting at this sharp edge, and this sharp edge is only known as your arris. The sharp terminating edge when two curved surfaces met. So one surface, second surface, both are meeting at this sharp edge. Also this will be your arris, this will be your arris, and this is your arris. So they are formed by the intersection of two surfaces, such as the corner of a masonry unit. The edge of a timber in timber framing, in any structure it can be formed. It can be made up of timber or stone also. But basically what it is the junction between two planes of plaster or any intersection of divergent architectural details. Okay. Now moving to the next question. A bull's eye window is. So this is your bull's eye window. Basically it is a small oval window set horizontally in place. This is your bull's eye window. Why bull's eye? Because of its circular or oval shaped window. Fine. And where it is placed? They are featured centrally rounded pane of glass. This is of circular in shape. Decorated by smaller panes of decorative elements. It can be decorated by any decorative elements at the edges, and creating a distinctive focal point in the building facade. Okay, this is acting as a focal point in the whole building facade. So this is your bullseye window. Next term we have is dromos in architecture can be explained as. So dromos, what is dromos? It is an entrance passage or avenue leading to the large building. Now look into this image. See, this is your entrance. These are your side walls. Suppose these are your side walls, and you are entering into this storm through this passage, this, and this is your entrance. But this whole setup is known as your dromos, this one. an entrance passage, this whole passage from here to here. So this whole entrance passage or avenue which is taking you towards any large building or any structure. Suppose this path is taking towards stone. So this part is known as your dromos. Moving to the next question is, Jharoka is an architectural element used in building as. So Jharoka is basically your balcony, as you can see in the image. So what it is a stone window projecting. Stone window, but it is projected out of the walls. Here you can see how it is projected from the wall face of a building in an upper story. Obviously not at the ground floor, you will get to see this Jharokas, you will get to see in the first floor, second floor. So why they were provided? They were provided at that time as in place from where you can have a look of the street, market or any other open places, and the common feature in classical Indian architecture, most prominent in Rajasthan. So Jharoka is basically used to be seen in the Rajasthan, and it is a stone window. It is projected from the outer wall, and the purpose of providing Jharoka was to have an overlook of the street, market or any open other places. Next question you have is, fly ash is a waste product from which of the following? So fly ash is a waste product of your thermal power plants. So what it is a waste residue, and huge amount of it have been used from coal fired power plants. So from the coal fired power plant we used to get as a waste residue which is known as your fly ash. Next question is, which one of the following is a sound reflecting material? Okay, which does not observe the sound but it reflects. First is your woolen cloth, second wood, third mirror, then you have cotton cloth. So mirror is a best sound reflecting object. Okay, why? Because their surface is smooth, and because of its hard surface it efficiently reflects the sound waves or bounce back any object which incidents into it. That's why we are saying that mirrors are the best soundproofing material. But in the same, when we talk about the wool or cotton, they absorbs sound waves, and due to this reason they are not a good reflector because they have porous structures, okay, that traps some amount of sound waves or lights, you can say, and then convert their energy into heat. That's why they are not a good sound absorber, but mirror is a good sound absorber, sound reflector. Which among the following is more earthquake resistant structure? Options given are brick in mud mortar, brick in cement sand mortar, you have steel frame and stone masonry. So the best structure which is an earth resistant structure which can resist the earthquake is your steel frame because of its strength and flexibility, ductility and relatively lightweight. So when we talk about its strength and flexibility, so as we know it is a strong and flexible material that can bend without breaking. It can bend at the time of earthquake. Okay, also it is ductile. It means that it can deform under stress without breaking. That's why it will withstand in the case of earthquakes. Also it is light in weight when we compare it with concrete or masonry structure as given in the options like brick, cement, sand, mortar. So these, so in comparison of these concrete structures, steel structure used to be light in weight, due to which this reduces the overall weight of the building, which puts less stress on the foundation during an earthquake. Because it is of lightweight, that's why it puts less stress on the ground foundation during an earthquake, and it is the reason that's why it withstands during the earthquake. Next question is, gypsum is a, so it is your chemically precipitated sedimentary rock. Sedimentary rock that forms when minerals dissolved in water precipitate out of the solution. Okay, this is a chemically precipitated sedimentary rock. Next you have Fly ash is a waste product from which of the following? As we have seen in the previous question also, it is a waste of the thermal power plant. Fly ash is a byproduct generated during the combustion of coal at power plants. Okay. What it is a fine powdery residue, as you can see in the image, that remains after coal. After burning of the coal, it is the remains part in the power plant. And for what purpose it can be used? It can be used as a supplementary cementitious material in concrete production or landfill. In concrete production, you can use fly ash as an material, and in the landfill applications also application, you can use fly ash. Next question we have, cement and concrete is a mixture of. So it is completely a mixture of water, cement, sand and aggregate. As you can see, aggregate, cement, water and sand. When you will combine all these four, you will get your cement concrete. So why water? Because water activates the cement and help it binds the ingredients together, as water uses a mixing element. But what cement? Cement is a binding agent. It binds and hardens and glue the other ingredients. So this is the function of the cement in cement concrete. And what's the use of sand? Sand actually fills the gap between the larger aggregate particles. These larger aggregate particles, it used to fill up the gaps. An aggregate consists of the coarse rocks or gravel that provides strength. So to give strength, we use aggregates, which is basically a coarse rock or gravel and structure to the concrete. Okay. Next one. Which one of the following material cannot be used in its original form for construction of wall? So laterite cannot be used in its original form in the construction of the wall, but granite, fly ash and basalt can be used in their original form for construction of walls. Why laterite can't be used? Because it needs some processing before it can be used in wall. So it can't be used directly. Next question is, you have to choose the same relationship from given four choices as given in the original pair. So the original pair has given you a square and a cube. So by a square you will get your cube. Same when you will see in the case of triangle. Triangle will give you a prism. Okay, each face of the cube is a square and each face of the prism is a triangle. Fine. Next you have bird and wings. So for this, correct option will be your car and wheel, because bird fly with the help of their wings and car moves on with the help of the wheels. Okay, so for the movement purpose, these two things are having relations. Third is liqueur and the drink. So the option relevant to it will be your tea and beverages. Second denotes the class of first. Okay, so liqueur comes under your drink and the tea comes under beverages. So this is showing the class of the particular drink. Fine. So this is the last, and thank you.